the thought hit me, and it's kind of like, whew, I started thinking of this. If you know anything about business, something that should always come to mind is performance, right? And that has to do with how well the business is performing in its marketplace. And so it is very important that every organization knows how well it's doing. And so, hence, we have the idea of performance measurement. Hi, this is Dr. Joseph. Welcome to the final week of class. This is our final. Here's to this week's video. And I am so thrilled that we have made it this far in the course. Some of you have submitted and working still on your final project. At this time, I hope everybody has, and we're working on grading those as they're submitted. Remember, this is your big project for the course, your supply chain plan. All right, so it's very important for you to have this work submitted. As I was looking through the rubric of the supply chain, I realized of the for the final project rather, I realized how simple this project really is. This is really the fact of the matter is this. This is really about putting everything you've done for this class into one document. So this is really your milestone 1 paper plus your milestone 2 paper plus your milestone 3 paper. So instead of having 3 separate papers, the final project is just you take all of these 3 and you make one out of it. That's really what it is. Because if you look at the criteria for on the grading rubric, it covers all those pieces from each of the milestones. So you should ensure that your work covers the required deliverable length, at least 11 to 15 pages of content information only. Right? Just bear that in mind. So if you have any questions, maybe you have not submitted your response and you think, oh my gosh, I think I ran out of time. Time kind of slipped out of me. Please reach out to me. Let me know. And we can allow a couple of days to get this in and get this ASAP. I don't want you to miss out on your final project. All right. For our final week of class, we have one assignment. This is your final discussion board question. And in our discussion board question, we're looking at supply chain performance. And I think by now you guys should capture the essence of how the supply chain really works, and how companies make decisions about their supply chain, right? Who's going to do what, right? How much is going to cost? Who do we get involved in the entire supply chain? Because the essence is the end result, right? You start somewhere and in the end result. The end result is the customer, but that end result does not end there. It's really a revolving end result. What I mean by this is the objective of any organization is customer satisfaction. If customers are satisfied with the organization, then they make recommendations to other customers, or they will continue their relationship with that organization. And that's very important. So, for example, think for a moment of your education here at Southern New Hampshire University. Think of that. Think of the process, the classes that you've taken, the instructors that you've interacted with, how this journey began for you. And ask yourself, what's the experience like? Is this a decision that I made that I feel like it's worth it? Or is this kind of like, I might consider another school? And if that's the case, in either way, what's affecting that feeling? What's affecting that thought? What's really inspiring that thought? So if the thought is yes, I believe I make the good decision to be a student at Southern New Hampshire University. What's inspiring that? Is it because of the activities that the university is doing that to encourage that? You feel that connection, you feel that sense of, wow, you have that, man, this is a great school, the education is good, the lecturers are good, the classes are substantive and stuff like that. And that's the goal. And so after you complete your degree, you might be talking to somebody at work, probably not even during, and you say, "Well, I'm doing the school, and this is like," you can spread the news, right? That's about customer satisfaction. That's about the performance of the business. And so every business measures every aspect, every component of its work. If you study quality management, for example, the business has to measure its quality to see how it's doing. That's where we come up with the idea of Six Sigma and stuff like that. We have just-in-time processes, and just-in-time, we have the push system versus the pull system. In week one, we look at supplier selection, criteria for supplier selection. Can we rely on suppliers to ensure that we'll get our supplies on time so we can satisfy the customer orders? Timeliness is very important. So this week, as we look at the supply chain performance, there are four measures that are used to measure how the supply chain is performing. Number one is customer service. Again, remember, it's customer satisfaction. The organization must know that its customers are satisfied. For example, with product delivery, on-time delivery, right? If you think about this for a moment, most infomercial you watch probably at 3-4 o'clock in the morning, they might tell you, if you look at the fine print, it will be like 4 to 6 weeks to deliver. In this day and age that we live in, it's very hard to wait for a product for 4 to 6 weeks. It's very hard, right? We generally kind of want to be that prime customer, right? That gets a product within 2 business days. We look at that estimated delivery time, and if it's outside of our scope, we make a decision that no, I don't want that, because as customers, that's what we want. Our satisfaction comes from those on-time delivery, those quick turnaround time. The next thing is internal efficiency, right? Remember when we look at holding cost in week one, we had the idea that, hey, if the retail store, for example, has that high holding cost, then customers are eventually going to pay for that. Right. The objective is to maximize profit. Remember, every business, if it's a for-profit company, it's in business to make a profit. Right. That's part of it. It's customer satisfaction, and out of that customer satisfaction, you're selling a product or delivering a service. It has to be a profit out of that, to maximize that profit. Now, that's not to squeeze the customer, but really to make a profit out of what you're doing so you can grow and expand. So internal efficiency has a lot to do with the organization minimizing cost to ensure that it has a profit. So the company develops a product for $10 and can sell it for $35, $45. There is that gap to show profit. And the next thing is demand flexibility. Customers change their mind all the time, right? So can the organization make those adjustments in time of uncertainties? That's very important. If an organization is struggling to do that, then it has to reconsider what it's doing. So demand flexibility, or ensuring that there is a quick response to demand changes and uncertainties, because customers change their mind very quickly. You and I are one of those. You place an order, and in 10 minutes later, you're like, why did I order this? Or 10 minutes later, you think, oh, I think I need 2 or 3. I need to go add some more to my cart. The uncertainty Because of that uncertainty, it's very important for an organization to respond to that. And last but not least, with product development, how quick can the organization respond to innovation, have innovative ideas? That's very, very, very critical, especially in this day and age. People get bored with the same thing, right? People get very bored with the same thing, and they want changes. If you look at our mobile device industry, where Samsung is the leading and Apple is these are the leading businesses within that mobile device industry. Guess if you notice, these guys are consistently making changes to their product, and it's not too much they're doing, not too much. If you compare your most recent iPhone product to your last recent iPhone product, they're very 99% similar. It might be able to even identify the one different. But it's critical to innovate. Innovation is very, very good. And on top of innovation, which is making adjustments to one product, but also the company's response to developing new products, right? Yes, and oftentimes there has to be different SKUs for success, because we as customers, and in this fast world that we're living in, we're looking for more. We'll keep looking for more. And that's very, very important. All right, so here are supply chain performance measures. These are the things that we're looking at. So be sure to provide a substantive initial response. That doesn't necessarily mean the whole book, right? But when I look at a substantive discussion board initial response, I'm looking for something that's probably 2-3 paragraphs, good paragraphs. You can identify. I would recommend to discuss each of those 4 things we identify: customer service, internal efficiency, demand flexibility, and product development. How the company should respond and measure its supply chain performance from there. All right, and then 2 pair responses, and always support your work with relevant research material, because we'll get the information, but we have to know where we're getting it from. I want to express my thanks to you guys for allowing me the past few weeks to really technically come into your life within the supply chain and supply chain management sphere. So it has been a really great time of learning. I've really enjoyed every week. Some of the questions you asked, some of people looking for clarity. I remember when we worked on those calculation questions, some of you had questions, and it was so great to kind of give you guys information. So I hope that I have made a good deposit in your learning journey, and that you guys are excited about continuing that journey until you make it. Education is key. As I learned from the great Aristotle, the root of education is bitter, but the fruit is sweet. So keep on your journey. Don't give up. Keep pushing through. I know life throws challenges at us, and sometimes it's hard. But it's in those challenges that we really find who we're made of. And so I encourage you to continue finding yourself, developing your potential. You will see great things. You're preparing yourself for a splendid future, a future that maybe even out of your scope and imagination. But when it does happen, you will embrace it with excitement, knowing that you did everything. So I like to say this oftentimes: is let your candle burn, let your light shine in that darkness, and you'll see and do great things. So all the best to you. It's not over yet. We're still in the classroom, so you guys can still continue engaging with me in the classroom. But this is our final Here's to this week video. I just wanted to encourage you. Stay focused, stay strong, stay motivated. Let's finish this class strong. But most importantly, finish your degree strong, because that's not the end of the road for you. All the best. This is Dr. Joseph. And again, heartfelt thank you for allowing me that time to share some time with you. 10 weeks in past part of your academic journey. All the best, and take good care of yourself. And wherever you are, be safe. All the best. Bye-bye.